Today, September 14th, Archangel Michael warns you, don't do this. Listen with the soft, open ear of your heart. I come to you this day not as a voice of judgment, but as a steady hand at the shoulder, a lantern held high to make the path clear. I am Michael, a protector, a clarifier, a brother in arms, and I speak to you with warmth and unblinking love. There are things you feel tempted to do in the hush of your own thoughts, choices that glitter with promise, yet carry hidden hooks. I am here to say, do not give your power away to the quick fix, the loud anger, the small compromise that steals the whole heart. Hold fast, breathe. Hear what I will say. Do not act from the hollow place of fear. Fear is a clever whisperer. It will present urgency where none truly exists, shame where there is dignity, and looming catastrophe where a single step will bring relief. When you act from fear, you shorten the arc of your own life. You throw away the slow, deliberate weave of courage for a garment that fits poorly and frays quickly. Pause before decisions made in panic. Name the fear aloud. See it for what it is, and then let reason, love, and patience be the judges. When you take a breath and widen your chest, decisions made from calm will serve you longer and truer. Do not leap into revenge. The fire you carry to punish another will often consume the hands that wield it. When another has harmed you, a betrayal, an insult, a deep wound, your soul asks for balance. Retribution seems like balance, but it is a mirror showing only your pain. Forgiveness is not forgetting, and it is not condoning. It is the liberation of your own heart from being chained to the actions of others. Seek justice where it is needed, yes. Stand for truth, but do not make your life a battlefield for payback. Build instead a life so full of light that the shadows of harm cannot find a place to live in you. Do not silence your inner voice. The small, clear lamp inside you is not meant to be put aside because the world is loud. When you feel the stirrings of truth, a longing, a call, a new idea, honor it. Write it. Say it. Test it kindly in the world. Your inner voice is your compass. It will sometimes be slow, sometimes it will whisper, and sometimes it will cry out. Treat it with respect. The practice of listening to yourself becomes the language of wisdom that guides every later decision. Do not make fear-based bargains that shrink your spirit. You will be tempted, perhaps often, to trade your time, your truth, your boundaries for things that appear to make life easier. I warn you, quick ease purchased at the cost of your dignity becomes a debt you pay for years. If a relationship always asks more than it gives, if a job asks for your integrity in exchange for security, if a friendship takes from you without care, do not bargain with yourself. Protect the sanctity of your inner life. Say no when you mean no. Create room for the yes that nourishes you. Do not ignore the steady small nudges to heal. Wounds do not always scream. Some ache quietly under the daily pattern of life. You may think you are managing, but there are large rooms of your heart left to be aired and reclaimed. Seek help where help is needed. Speak with trusted ones, with healers, with counselors, with spiritual guides. Healing is not a sign of weakness. It is the courageous reclamation of wholeness. To neglect the quiet wounds is to hand them time and space to fester into patterns that will later require greater effort to undo. Do not let guilt be your chief advisor. Guilt has its place, a nudge toward making amends, a memory of a wrong. But when guilt lives and breathes in you, commanding your choices and coloring your perception, it becomes a jailer. Distinguish between responsibility, which teaches and renews, and corrosive guilt, which corrodes and immobilizes. Learn to make amends when needed, and then to release the burden. Practice mercy with yourself as you would practice it with others. Do not trade present joy for future certainty. Life is a river that requires you to move within it. To hold yourself perpetually in reserve for some future that may or may not arrive is to deny yourself the present's abundant gifts. Plan, yes. Prepare, yes. But do not let an imagined guarantee of tomorrow steal the sunlight of today. Gather memories and experiences as you gather bread. They will sustain you in leaner seasons far more wholly than the mere comfort of a banked future. Do not hide your kindness out of fear of being used. Kindness is not weakness. The world is rough, and sometimes kind hearts are misread as easy targets. This does not mean you must scatter your kindness indiscriminately. Let your generosity be wise, anchored by boundaries. Offer from overflow, not from empty cups. When you give, give because you are full, not because you seek to be filled by the gratitude of others. Do not make permanent decisions in temporary states of mind. There will be moments when your emotions are like storm waves, overwhelming and loud. In those hours, refrain from final choices about relationships, careers, or life direction. Make space. Sleep on it. Seek counsel. Life's truest edges are best discovered in the clear light of morning after the storm has passed. Do not be a stranger to the tenderness of your own body. Many of you neglect the temple of your being, your body, treating it as incidental in the chase for achievements. Nourish it with food that honors its purpose, with rest that replenishes, with movement that rejoices in what your body can do. The body is a faithful companion. Neglect weakens the partnership between your spirit and the earthly vessel. Treat it tenderly. Do not turn away from the people who hold you. Pride will sometimes whisper that you must do it alone, that asking for help will make you less than yourself. This is untrue. There is nobility in seeking aid, in allowing another's hands to lift some of the weight. Lean into true friendships, into community, into those who stand by you with steady hearts. Allow them to carry, to listen, to witness. We are not made to be islands. Do not allow bitterness to root in the soil of your life. Bitterness grows arms and vines that will choke the tender shoots of your joy. When you experience wound or disappointment, tend the soil. Pull out the roots early. Forgive, name the hurt, set boundaries, and then plant seeds of gratitude and newness. Gratitude is not a forced smile. It is an intention that tilts your life toward abundance rather than lack. Do not confuse busyness with purpose. The world celebrates the frantic and the busy as if movement always equals meaning. Learn the difference between motion and mission. Ask yourself, does what I am doing align with the deepest aims of my life? Does it feed my soul, my relationships, my ability to love? Reclaim time for quiet, for art, for rest, for the small actions that knit a life together with meaning. Do not hoard your truth to keep the peace. There will be times when silence seems easier than speaking, yet unspoken truth undercuts intimacy and creates a slow erosion. Speak gently and with courage. Let your words be tempered by kindness, but not softened to the point of absence. True peace is not the absence of words, but the presence of honest, compassionate conversation. Do not let your worth be measured by the applause of others. Outer validation is fickle. The only steady measure of your worth is the design of the soul within you. Your call to love, to grow, to learn. When you tether your value to likes on a screen, to the loudness of acclaim, you build a house on sand. Build on rock, on kindness, on perseverance, on fidelity to what you know is true in your bones. Do not fear the unknown as your enemy. See it as a page yet to be written. Unknowns can be terrifying because they are unstructured, but they also hold possibility and fertile ground. When you meet what is unknown with curiosity instead of dread, you will find that doors open where you expected walls. If you must step into uncertainty, do so with a companion, with prayer, with a steady plan that accepts adaptation. The brave heart is not the one that never fears. It is the one that acts despite fear. Do not second guess the quiet call to love. There will be chances, small and large, to offer love that costs you something. Sometimes love will ask you to stay when it is easier to leave. Sometimes it will ask you to speak when silence would be safer. Love is the currency by which the soul is enriched. Pay it generously. You will be blessed in ways that cannot always be counted, but are felt deeply in the bones. Do not fall into the trap of comparison. To compare is to try to measure the unique with another's ruler. Your path is singular, with its own tempo and story. Celebrate others' victories as if they were bouquets placed beside yours, not knives aimed at your throat. Comparison steals joy and replaces it with a hunger that cannot be satisfied. Cultivate the practice of your own becoming. Do not underestimate the power of small rituals. Small, repeated acts, a morning pause, a nightly gratitude list, a weekly walk with a friend are anchors that hold your life steady. Rituals are not superstitions. They are the technologies of the soul that create rhythm, meaning, and continuity. Choose rituals that nourish you and guard them like the little altars they are. Do not forget to celebrate progress. You are not only the sum of your setbacks. Pause and notice the small victories, the habit that stuck for a week, the conversation that went well, the step away from an old pattern. Mark these moments. They are the bricks that build the road beneath your feet. Do not be quick to judge the story of another. Each life contains hidden chapters, unseen burdens, and unspoken courage. Extend grace. When you must decide, do so with as much empathy as truth allows. Everyone you meet is in the middle of a story you do not completely understand. Do not fail to steward your time as the sacred resource it is. Time is the currency of life. Spend it on people and pursuits that matter. Learn to say no gracefully, to decline the invitation that will scatter your attention, to choose a small number of commitments and show up fully. Time squandered in endless distraction cannot be recovered. Do not carry shame that is not yours. Sometimes you inherit stories, messages from parents, from cultures, from past eras that were never yours to hold. Investigate those messages with compassion. Decide which belong to you and which must be set down. Freeing yourself from inherited shame is an act of courage and care. Do not forsake your dreams for the sake of convenience. Dreams are not frivolous. They are hints from your soul pointing to what you were made to do. Tend them tenderly. Start with small, faithful actions and let them grow. Even a tiny step toward a dream is a life reclaimed. Do not underestimate the value of saying sorry. Apology repairs what pride breaks. When you are wrong, say so. Make amends where possible. Then learn and move forward. Pride keeps wounds open. Humility closes them. Do not run from change as if it were an enemy. Everything in life moves. Embrace the rhythm. Resist the urge to hold everything exactly as it is. By learning to adapt, you learn resilience. By allowing things to age and to pass, you make room for the new. Do not keep your spiritual life as a compartment. Let it leak beauty into the rest of your days. Prayer, contemplation, and spiritual practice are not meant to be a narrow ritual. They are meant to infuse your work, relationships, and ordinary moments with meaning. Bring sacredness into the kitchen, into your work, into your speech. Do not believe that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. Vulnerability is the pathway to connection. When you allow another to see your cracked places, you give them permission to be human as well. Courageous vulnerability builds intimacy and trust that lasts. Do not live as if suffering always has a simple answer. Sometimes pain is complex and slow to resolve. Hold sorrow with patience. Let grief teach you rather than overwhelm you. In the spaces of pain, small acts of tenderness for yourself and for others become holy work. Do not forget that boundaries are an act of love. To set a limit is not to push people away, but to create the safety in which genuine relationship can flourish. Teach others how to love you by the edges you create. Do not delay the making of amends. When you know you have harmed, act quickly to repair. Time complicates apology. Haste in amends is not a sign of trembling guilt, but of responsible love. Do not let technology be the master of your attention. Screens will demand, insist, and consume. Choose to be present. Practice attention as a discipline. Give your eyes and ears to the people who stand in front of you. Do not ignore the wild call of play. Your spirit needs delight. Laughter loosens the tightness of worry. Let yourself be ridiculous at times. Let joy be unashamed. Do not forget to bless yourself with gentleness when you fail. You will fail. That is the condition of trying. Receive your failings as lessons, not verdicts. Do not make work the altar of your life. What you do is important, but it does not define the totality of who you are. Let relationships and rest be co-equals of your labor. Do not let loneliness convince you that you are beyond repair. Reach out. There are hands waiting to hold you. Do not fall into the lie that perfection is required before you begin. Begin messy, imperfect, brave. The starting point is not always pretty. It is sacred because it is honest. Do not treat money as the final measure of your success. Money is useful. It is not the meaning of life. Use it wisely, give it generously, and do not allow it to name you. Do not let fear of loss paralyze your capacity to love fully. Love risks loss. It is also the truest way to live. Do not refuse to receive. Allow others to pour love into you. It is not a tax upon your independence. It is the mutual currency that completes human exchange. Do not neglect the small acts of courage. Show kindness when it is costly. Speak up when it is easier to be quiet. Let integrity be the daily practice, not the occasional ideal. Do not lose sight of the sacred in the ordinary. A cup of tea can be a sacrament. A shared meal can be a liturgy. Discover holiness in the mundane by doing simple things with great love. Do not shrink from asking for help when the burden is heavy. We were created to practice interdependence, not heroic solitude. Do not let your life be defined by the labels others place upon you. Define yourself by the story your soul whispers in quiet moments. Do not abandon hope. Even when the night is long, stars remain. Hold on to the small lights. A phone call, a sunrise, a song. They will gather into larger brightness. Do not forget that every day offers a chance to begin again. If you have stumbled, rise. If you have been gentle, continue. If you have been harsh, soften. Life is a classroom. You are always learning. I stand with you in these things, not as a distant judge, but as a companion who will walk beside you. When you choose differently than I counsel, I do not leave you. I hold you. I help you gather the pieces, and I remind you that redemption is always possible. Remember, you are never alone in the choices you face. Call my name if you find yourself at the brink and need steadiness. Call my name when fear tugs like a net. Call my name when you want courage to say no and strength to say yes. I will come not to take away your agency, but to strengthen it. Take a breath now. Place one hand over your heart and feel the steady beat there. That rhythm is the world's music echoing in you. Keep that beat. Keep your gaze soft. Walk gently into your day, fortified by the small practices of truth, rest, and love. You are beloved. You are capable. You are more luminous than you know. Walk in courage. Walk in tenderness. And do not do the things that will steal your light.